What's up, Broke Ass Nation? Hopefully you guys are staying warm in these extremely cold temperatures lately. It's cold. Anyway, into the video here. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I completely forgot to talk about during the New Year's video. Luckily, one of our wonderful viewers pointed it out to me. We're going to be talking about the 300Z that I LS swapped, because let me tell you, it's been a while. So I'll get you guys up to speed on that, and kind of some where it's at and plans and all that. And then afterwards, I'll tell you about this thing, and I'll give you guys a little bit of information in case you own a C6, especially an 05. That way you guys can fix the column lock issue if you also have one. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so let's get you up to speed on this thing. Yeah, it's LS swapped. There you go, up to speed. Just kidding. So this thing's pretty much been done, I'd say, for like almost 2 years now, or roughly 2 years. Well, done, swapped. But it hasn't really been drivable. When I first got it done, I just kept working through the little kinks of everything, you know, there's always problems. A lot of power steering issues. So then that was toward the end of car season that year. So the next year I was excited, get it out, you know, go get the miles on it, get the motor broken, get the clutch broken, and then just have fun with it. Well, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden then I started having crank sensor issues. So pretty much what ends up happening, it's, God, this thing's dusty. Yeah, pretty much what ends up happening is I'll drive it for about 10-15 minutes, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just shuts off. Ends up the little dash computer thing for the Holley system it'll act like the engine stalled, and it won't get no crank signal. You'll sit there and turn it over, and it won't, nothing, doesn't show anything. Usually what ends up happening is I'll drive it 10 or 15 minutes, it'll do that, then it'll start pretty much right away. Then I get up to 5th gear again and cruising, and it shuts off again. And then the cycle just continues to do that, but every time I go to start it, it usually gets worse, where it takes longer and longer for it to get a signal again. Last time I got it out, which was last year, 2024, got it out, I messed with a few things, hoping maybe by some weird chance that it would start working better. So, you know, this time I got out there and it shut off, and then I tried for forever to get this thing to start. I wiggled wires, I did everything I could, it just would not get a crank signal again. So I ended up having to tow it back home, which was not very far away, and sucks ass when it's not very far away. Anyway, I haven't really touched it since. I decided that I was just gonna wait and talk to the guys at Holley when we were at LS Fest, because it's, you know, it's been kind of a hectic year. I had a lot of other things going on at that point, so I focused on that stuff. But yeah, it ends up, I talked to Holley, and the only thing they could really tell me to try was try messing with all the grounds. So I'm going to go through here. I'm not going to do it very soon because, you know, it's winter out there. But here at some point, hopefully right before car season starts. I'm going to go through and I'm going to find every ground up in here, and I'm going to clean it thoroughly, make sure all of them have good conductivity. I'm going to redo some of the grounding on this. I'm probably going to put some bigger wire on it. I mean, this is, I forget what gauge, but I mean, this is a pretty big one. But yeah, maybe stab a few more engine grounds on it. I don't know. We're just gonna pretty much mess with every ground on this up in this engine bay area. And I'm gonna double check. I think there's a ground for the ECU down in there somewhere. I'm gonna double check that. So that's really the game plan right now, is just pretty much go over all the grounds on this thing, and then just test it, because I've only driven it like 250 miles, and I'd like to get a nice 500 miles in for the clutch. That's what they recommend. I'd like it to last, because it's going to be a bitch to change, so I don't want to take it out if I don't have to. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is just how it's been. It's so dusty. It's just, yep. But yeah, I really hope that I can get things figured out with this. Also, if anybody else has ran into issues with the crank sensor, please let me know what your issue ended up being. I'll tell you, I already went through and changed the crank sensor. It's a brand new GM AC Delco one. I mean, there was a brand new one in it to begin with, but yeah, I changed it just for shits and giggles, and it didn't help. So I don't know. So yeah, hopefully the 300 is at LS Fest this year. It's going to be pretty much my major priority come car season, because like I said, there's really no point in me fucking with it right now, because I won't be able to drive it down the road because it's all snowy out and shit. But yeah, hopefully this year that thing will be at LS Fest and up and running, driving good the way I want it. But let's move on here real quick to the Corvette. So this is a 2005 C6 Corvette manual transmission, which that means that it can have the steering column lock issue. So if you, well, and it can actually be an issue, unfortunately, my luck. So if you're ever having this issue and you have an 05 manual transmission car, to make it go away for good, because apparently, so they sell these little boxes that you can plug into the steering column module, and it pretty much like fakes it out and tries to tell it, hey, everything's good, you know, do your thing. But the problem that they're running into now, because, you know, it's an 05 and it's so old, is that that module that box, that fake out box plugs into, is starting to go bad. So that module's just, they don't make it anymore, you know? So what GM did in 2018 is they came up with a new bulletin for the dealerships, a fix-it bulletin. So what this bulletin entitles, and I will look it up real quick and let you guys know what the number is in case you need to tell your dealership, because I unfortunately had to take that to the dealership to have them reprogram the module, which I'll get into in a second. But I had to give them the bulletin number because they had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. So let me look that up real quick. Okay, so if you ever need it, the bulletin number is 18-NA-346. I will hopefully put that on the screen too, just in case. But anyway, yeah, what this bulletin entitles is, first off, it's two parts, two physical parts that need to be installed. Pretty much what it says is that you're going to take the steering wheel off, and you're going to take and go all the way down until you get to this retaining piece for the column lock. So as you can see, all those little notches, that's where your column lock will engage, so you know the wheel's locked. Well, GM's fix for this is to take this out and put one in that's smaller so it can't hit the column lock physically. Yes, that's their fix. The other physical part is just this little retaining clip, which is an absolute fucking bitch to get on and off. But realistically, like changing this stuff, I did this part myself because the dealership said that it was going to be like $800 to change that piece and reprogram the module, which is the other part of the job. So they have to go in there to the BCM and basically tell the BCM to ignore the column lock, just disable it entirely so it doesn't care about it. And I looked into this a lot, and it's doable on your own, like very easily doable. Thing is, you need a pass-through device, which is it's some kind of box that you plug into your car and you plug it into a PC, and then that's what allows you to communicate with it. And you go on to like some AC Delco website and you buy the license for $40 to be able to adjust that stuff on your car. And then you just go in there, do your thing, you let it upload for however long that takes, and bam. The problem is, one of those pass-through devices, whether it be aftermarket or like the one GM uses, that's like $1,000. And I'd rather just pay the dealership $200 to do it, because I don't know what else I would use that for. You know, if I knew some other stuff for sure that I would use that for, I probably would have bought it, but nah. So yeah, that's all there is to it. And then no more column lock issue. So yeah, so there's one problem fixed. I am still having the issue with the fuel pump relay, so that's fun. I don't know, it's not as big of a deal as the column lock, because at least I can just pop that in and push it back in, or pop that out and push it back in, and then it starts. Whereas a column lock, literally the car will not let you start it. Also, quick tip, by the way, if you do have the column lock issue and your car won't let you start, you can start it by taking out the relay for the starter, and you can jump the caddy corner spots with like a wire or a paper clip or something, and as long as you have somebody in the car with the ignition turned to on and pushing the clutch down, it'll start and run and drive. So yeah, if you need it, there it is. But yeah, those parts, by the way, I think was a total of like $16. So $16, and you do it yourself, and then pay them $200 to do the rest of it, or you can pay them like $800 and not have to worry about any of it. But I don't know about you, but I don't like paying a dealership very much. I hate them. They just steal your money half the time. But it is what it is. We are still planning on putting headers and everything on it. That I'm not sure when it's gonna happen, but yeah, we have the headers and everything right here. So I'm very reluctant to do things right now because it's blistering cold out, and I do have heat I can do in here, but it's a pain. I've also, unfortunately, because of how cold it is, I've been having to park the Jetta in here to make sure the motherfucker starts for work, because let me tell you, I think it needs a new battery. I mean, I know all batteries are not happy in this, like, you know, single digit weather, but that battery is very not happy, and it needs all the power it can get, being a diesel. But anyway, off of that tangent, yeah, so there's an update on the 300. I know it's not a very good one, but I did forget to talk about it, and thank you again to our wonderful viewer that pointed that out to me. I appreciate it. Sometimes, you know, videos like this, I just don't really have a game plan, and I just start recording and talking, and yeah, we all see how that ends up. Usually not very good. But anyway, there's a little update and kind of a game plan for the 300Z, and update and some helpful tips for the C6 Corvette. So until next time, keep off those jack stands and stay broke, folks.